So I thought, let's get a shed. That can't be too difficult to put it up. Sadly, there were no instructions and I couldn't find anything on the internet, so I thought I'd put this up to explain where I went wrong and give some idea of how to put up an Apex Popular shed. I was told I needed a spanner, and you do. The spanner is to attach the sides to the shed. Make sure there's space behind the shed. If you haven't got space at the side, you need to get agreement from your neighbour to be able to get on top of the shed, and it might have been best to leave space at the side, but that's life. Most important, you need to make sure you have a small child who is capable of using a screwdriver, because if you don't actually take the key off the door before putting the shed together, because you can't reach it from the inside, you have to put the small child through, who has to unscrew the key and give it to you and be unlocked from the shed. The worst thing is the felting. Any wind makes the felting very difficult. You can't really put it on the roof before putting the roof on the shed, because you can't then attach the shed to the roof without going through the felting. The problem is the wind really doesn't like it. The felting tends to come all rolled up in one roll, and actually you're better off separating it out and then rolling it up again. Now, if you see this piece at the top here, you can't do anything apart from put it on top of the shed when you put the shed up, because it attaches to both sides, but it's vulnerable to being blown off by the wind, and the problem with that is then you have to do it again. So what I did now was I rolled up the felting and put it back on the roof. Now that still is a bit of a fight, because any wind causes a major problem. The storm Katie was going on around about this time. This was actually quite low wind at the moment, so felting is a really big problem that you need to be sensitive to. Attaching the sort of decorative bits isn't too difficult. That actually, I've not done too badly in terms of bits left over. I've got a couple of bits of wood left over, which, you know, like with flat pack furniture, you always wonder what's going to happen with the bits that you are missing at the end. Glazing, it would have been nice to have some instructions about how to do the glazing. It is a very sensitive job. I did actually, to be fair, only crack one pane of glass out of the fire, but I have this left over, which is all rather sad, because I don't know whether they're needed or not.